Hi everyone, it's Jenny and welcome back to my channel. Today is a special day. I'm going to put this down because I'm going to spill it otherwise. Because it is my 1 year Booktube anniversary, and though this may not go out on my actual day, which is 15th of April, because it's me and you know, I faffed about today. But I just wanted to make a video in commemoration, and I was just going to make it chatty, but then I realised I had nothing to say because everyone's on lockdown, so I don't really have much going on in my life like the rest of the world. So I thought instead I would make a 20 classes that I want to read this year, because even though it's April, there's still many classes that I want to read, and I'm really enjoying being part of the classics community that Lucy the Reader has set up. I will link the Goodreads groups down below, but basically the aim is just to read at least one classic a month. But I'm obviously trying to read a lot more, partly because I have to, because of my PhD, but also just because I love classics. I think there's something really special about books that have been remembered and stood the test of time, and how something that's written 100 years ago, or even if it is a modern classic, how something can still be so universal in terms of its themes and people can still identify with them. There's, I will say, like, some classics that probably shouldn't have been remembered as well. But on the whole, like, I enjoy most classics that I read, definitely, and it's just, they bring me a lot of joy, and I'm enjoying talking to other people that also find joy in them. So yeah, but just very quickly, without trying to be cliche or anything, it's really lovely that people have been listening to ramble on for a year now, even though there have been points where I've not been rambling because I've just been making the videos. It's so lovely that some people have stuck around, and your comments and everything, your support, just, it means a lot and it makes me happy. So thanks a lot, and tell me if you're joining in with the classics community and what you're reading, or if you're interested in any of these that I will talk about now. But without further ado, after some gin. Ice cube. Let's get into the books. I shouldn't have worn this lipstick, it's just getting on my mug anyway. This is going to be a random order because I'm not organised. The first one is Faust by, I think it's Goethe, but when I was a kid I used to say Goethe because I didn't know. And this, I have both parts. I'm not sure if I'm going to read both parts because part one is what everyone raves about, and I think this is what he wrote when he was young, and this he wrote way after. Maybe that's completely false. But my mum got me these years ago when she used to work in a charity shop, and I've only read the story of Young Bertha, which had so much crying in it, it's unbelievable. And I didn't love it, but it was interesting because it's written in epistolary, and this is obviously about a man, sells his soul to the devil. That never goes well, does it? And I've seen a kind of play of it in Prague, but I've never read it, and it's kind of, I guess it is like a play poetry, don't know what you want to call it. I bet it smells nice. It does, got that old book smell. But anyway, that's something interesting to, I haven't read many German classics and I want to read more. Then, this is going to be very rambling. But that's my brand, so it's fine. I want to read High Wages, which is actually on my TBR this month. Who knows if I'll get to it, by Dorothy Whipple, about a woman who leaves her boss and becomes independent, and I think it's quite an inspiring story. But I just like Dorothy Whipple, and I haven't actually read any of her novels yet, only her short stories, so this would be nice to get my teeth into. Ooh, a book art's poking out. Cheerio. Then Howard's End by E.M. Forster. I've had for a couple of years now. I don't know why. I really want to read this in autumn, but I'm sure it had absolutely nothing to do with autumn. I don't even know what time of year it starts in, if it says, but I just love Forster, and I saw a play called The Inheritance, and they referenced this book a lot, and it made me very excited to read it. And I just absolutely adore this cover. I love these editions in general, but this is one of my favourite editions. And yeah, I don't know anything about this really. Is House into House? I don't know. I don't read the back of these. These can really have bad spoilers, but Forster, yay! And then a book I bought quite recently, which is Iris Murdoch's The Sea, The Sea. It's chonky. It is a chonky book, but beautiful. Wait till you see these flaps. Oh, isn't it beautiful? These vintage classics just come out trumps once again. And again, I know nothing about this, but I just started reading it in a bookshop and had to buy it. And it's probably her most famous. I think this is the one that won the Booker? Or was that the Bell? I don't know, but I'm excited to read more of her work because I've read her first one on the net. I enjoyed it, but this I think is more kind of serious work, and she'll have developed. I didn't realise how much she'd written. She's written loads of novels, so it will be nice to read her creamy prop, the best. And then, oh, this is very different. Some French poetry, Flowers of Evil, Fleurs du Mal by Baudelaire. This is not as long as it looks, it's because half of it is in English and half of it is in French. Yeah, so like, this is the English half and this is the French half. This is what I bought in Shakespeare & Co. Do I have the stamp in this one? I do. Woo! The best bookshop in the world, as everyone knows. And I've only read extracts from this in my fin de siècle course in my 3rd year, and I quite liked it, even though it's kind of bleak poetry, and I don't know, it's all about like decadence and that excess, I think, like hedonistic time, I suppose, in Paris. So he's interesting because he was like obscene at the time. He really wasn't accepted, but now everyone thinks he's a genius. So like, I will decide for myself how good I think he is. And also more poetry, which is Christina Rossetti's. This is only her selected poetry though, it's not her complete collection, but as you can see I've read a few of them in my pre-Raphaelite course and Victorian course. I really like her poetry. I think she's underrated. I think she's kind of overshadowed by her brother Dante with his art, but yeah, I mean this will be like a gradual read. It's like 200 this is all notes. It's like 200 pages, just less of actual poetry. But that's not bad, and it's quite big print. So I've obviously read Goblin Market and some other shorter poems, but I would like to be more generally well versed. That's not the right word. You know what I mean. Well versed poetry. Then this is a play, I think the only play actually on my list, which is The Duchess of Malfi by John Webster, which I know is tragic, but that's kind of all I know. I don't know what it is about the Duchess. I think this is old. I think it's like, is it Elizabethan? I don't know if it's Shakespeare's time. So does it say? No, unhelpful. It's an old play, and I want to read it because it's quite famous. And I feel like apart from Shakespeare, there aren't many old plays that people really read or study or remember. This is one of the ones that is. I hope that it's decent. And then, I really want to read Russian classics because I've only read The Master and Margarita and some Chekhov plays, and that's literally it. And some of these books I've had on my shelves for years, but I failed miserably so far. So this is like a reminder to myself that I do want to read these books. So this is one that this is not my copy, it's my dad's copy, but I want to read anyway, and it's the Karamazov Brothers by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and look how big that is, and look how dense the print is. I mean, it's gonna take a while. It is 870 pages. Pray for me. But I've heard it's really good, and I've not read any Dostoevsky, so look at me trying to do Russian accent. That I know nothing about it. There's brothers. Who knows? Then I want to read Ruth. I want to read all of Gaskell because Gaskell's my fave, as you know. I haven't had gin in too long. Hold on a minute. Oh, sorry. This is Ruth, which is, I think, her most evangelical novel. I think it's about a woman who becomes a fallen woman, I think. But that's all I know about it. I presume it's set in like, well, no, I'll show you that, like industrial towns in the north, but I don't know. I definitely don't read this one to last because I have a feeling this is going to be like not my favourite by Gaskell. We'll see. But it's by Gaskell, so I'm down. Sorry, I feel it's a very boring video. I am excited for this book, I promise. And then a book that's kind of haunting me is A Drama in Muslin by George Moore, which is an Irish classic I've talked about lots of times, and I didn't get to in the Irish Readathon last month, and I didn't get to it for like 2 successive Victobers. So I'm gonna say, if I haven't got to it by Victober, I'm gonna read this and make it a priority, because I'm sure I'll enjoy it. It sounds dramatic. I mean a drama. I love drama. So yeah, I'm interested in Irish politics. I know nothing about it really from this period, particularly apart from obviously like Protestants were really crushing the Catholics. Don't really know much else apart from that. And a lot of the landowners were English, so the Irish people didn't like that. So that's my crash course in my knowledge of Irish history at this time. What is it, 80s I think? We'll go with that. Yes. This is a really, look how dense that blurb is. Tiny writing. Anyway, I want to read that. And then a book that has been haunting me again, because this was on my second year Victorian reading list, and we had like 20 different things to read, so I just didn't read this one because it was really long, and that's Armadale by Wilkie Collins, because annoyingly I know what happens to one of the characters at the end because we read it in the seminar, but I've never read Wilkie Collins, and that is insane, and I should have read this one, and I'm sure I will, but I know it's confusing because there's 4 characters with the same name. I can't remember what it is now. Alan Armadale, yeah, I think there are 4 Alan Armadales, and that could just really mess me up. I'm going to have to read this when I can really concentrate, I think. And again, this is a good like 600 pages, nearly 700 pages long. Oh, it's small print. Oh no. but I haven't really read sensation novels from the Victorian period. That's a whole like section of literature I've not really explored, and I think they'd be great fun. So there's that one, and I love this cover as well. Ooh, nice. And then, getting back to Russia, we have Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This cover, I'm not actually the hugest fan of. There used to be, Penguin, they changed some of their covers and it annoys me because I used to like the old ones more. Like they had really nice paintings for the Dickens ones, and now they just have black and white sections of illustration from the book. I just don't like them half as much. But anyway, tangent aside, this is, I think, about a man who commits a crime. It's like whether or not he gets away with it. I think it's a murder or something. A murder. Listen, that's all I can do in Scottish. I know it was terrible. Yeah, I think it's shorter. Look at that! It's like 100 pages shorter than Brothers Karamazov. So Karamazov Brothers. Why do I always want to say it the other way around? What's wrong with me? So I might read this one first because it's only 650 pages. Okay, what's next? Oh, this is like the last big Russian one, which is Anna Karenina, which I have owned. I really think I got this when I was like 15, 16. I was just such an over-ambitious teenager. And there are so many people that did read these kinds of books when they were teenagers, and I really didn't. I didn't start properly reading classics, I would say, till I was university. I read a few, I read Pride and Prejudice, I read 1984, but books like this just sat on my shelf neglected, and everyone was pretty much told me they like this more than War and Peace. So War and Peace, you will know, is a big omission from this list, but I'm just not as fussed about War and Peace. I don't know. The thing that really scares me about Russian literature is they often have a key list of characters at the beginning because they have multiple names for each character, and they can have such long names, and I think it would be hard to like keep track of everyone. And also I think it's this one, has like long farming sections that are boring. The same as War and Peace has long battle sections and stuff like that, and I just think, I might do some skimming. I don't know. We'll see. But this is about a woman who... Actually, I feel like everyone knows what it's about, but I also don't want to spoil it if you don't know anything, so I'm going to say nothing. But it's about a woman called Anna Karenina. And I know what happens at the end, which is also, again, really sad. That is the hardest thing. These like really famous classics, I know quite a lot of the endings of, whereas classics like this, which are really quite obscure, I don't know anything about, and that's quite nice. Like, I like going into a classic not knowing anything really. So we'll see, Anna. We'll see when I get to you. I said I was going to read it already in the Goodreads group, and that has not happened. Hadn't read a single page. I really want to buy like another edition of it that's smaller. There are so many pretty editions. Wait, no, don't do it. Because space, because it's a big book. Anyway, shut up, Jenna. Get on with it. Have some gin. Crack on. Then this book was on my Victorian literature course, but it technically isn't a Victorian book. It's by Olive Shraney, who was South African, but she lived in England for quite a long time during the Victorian period. And it's called The Story of an African Farmer, and it's a book that I read about 60 pages of ages ago in my second year, but it was the last book in the course at this point. You know, you've just given up reading because we had essays to do. And it's a new woman novel, so it's quite feminist, and it's also got the protagonist Lindsay. She's kind of torn between it. I think like two different men, and one's kind of like a new man, so he's more forward thinking and caring and that kind of thing, and emotional. So it's interesting that it's like a whole like colonised country I don't really know much about, apart in that time period. I've learned about apartheid in Nelson Mandela's time, but I've really never looked at it in terms of like the white Dutch farmers went over there and took that land and made farms and that kind of thing, and I just think it will be an education, really. And then a book that I'm know what I'm going to read. I'm going to read, if fingers crossed, my holiday goes ahead in the end of July, where I'm going to Brecon Beacons with my family, because I have Welsh family, and I have got Richard Llewellyn's How Green Was My Valley. That was bad, sorry, all Welsh people. But it is about a mining community, I think in the 30s? It was published in 39 anyway, but it's set in like South Wales, which is where my family are from. And I just think it will be interesting to like read about a time that's disappeared now, and a community that has gone. You know, the mining is such a small industry there now, and it's like really been decimated. And to read about like such a specific community and the camaraderie, but also like the frustrations of like wanting to break out of that, and not having many of the prospects in your life, in your area, and you know, growing up in a community that is quite a harsh life, but how there is a kind of unique beauty to that. And I think it's also the idea of like there's no place like home, like you will always remember the grass being greener, and how you have a nostalgia for a time gone past, even if it wasn't all rosy. So this is a book that I will definitely be reading while I'm in Wales, and I'm really, really excited about it. And if I don't go to Wales, then I'll just like read it when I would have been in Wales anyway, but I'm sure that will happen, fingers crossed. And then a book that's like complete opposite to Wales is Great to Bath by John Steinbeck, which I think won the Pulitzer Prize back in the day. And a lot of people say this is his best work, but I think he said his favourite was East of Eden. Anyway, it is about the 30s depression, and I think it's in California. It's in California? Oklahoma and California. I know nothing about American geography, but they're separate places. Excellent. And it's, I think, partly about like the Dust Bowl as well, and how it like decimated the agricultural industry. Maybe I'm making that up completely, but I know it's about a family, and I know it's sad, but I learned about that history again. I learned about the 20s and the 30s in America, and about the Depression, so I would be super interested. In retrospect, this is maybe not like a book to read right now with everything going on in the world and like how the economy is just dying, but maybe it is, I don't know. Maybe it's like a lesson of how these things will always happen, and we can't escape them. But Steinbeck is one I've really, I think I've only read of Mice and Men. Yeah, and I've read a couple of short stories, and he's got like a decent catalogue, so I would like to read this, like something a bit longer than Of Mice and Men, or something I don't know anything about, because everyone knows what happens in Of Mice and Men. There were no shocks there. And then we get towards the end, I promise. Wait, I need to bring these closer. Come here. Okay, there we go. I want to read Orlando by Virginia Woolf. Oh, another like beautiful vintage edition. Wonderful, wonderful. Wow, I slapped that book really hard. Sorry. This is a book that I started, but you really need to concentrate with it, because it's about a character that goes through history who changes gender. So that I think at the beginning of the book it's a man, but then it changes to a woman, and I really love that, the fluidity of gender, and the exploration of like the concept of that, and how it doesn't always need to be so defined and binary and that kind of thing. But it's not a light read, and I think you have to just be in the mood for it. Whereas when I read Miss Dalloway, that was a bit easier for me to read personally than Orlando. But I think even if I don't like it, it'll just be a really interesting novel to read from what she's doing with the form of the novel itself. And I think I'm going to read this like later in the year. That's my plan. But I definitely want to read more of her works. I really want to come back to her house. I just loved Monk's House, but I want to have read most of her work by the time I go back, because that will be nice. When I went, I only read Dalloway, and I was reading Orlando then. That's right. So it was like August last year. I just started it. I was like 30 pages in. I read the first section, I think. So I was like here, but I would like to actually read the whole thing, because you know that is good for the book. You read it all. Then a book that I don't know, I'm not expecting to love, but it's The Loving Spirit by Daphne du Maurier, and I'm not expecting to love it because this is her first book. And the thing is, I've only read To Make It In, and I really want to read Rebecca, and I really want to read My Cousin Rachel, but I feel like then I've kind of read most of her best ones, and then it's sort of downhill from there. And she wrote a lot of books, and I'm not expecting the first one to be great, but I just want to read it. And I think it's about Janet Coombe. I'm not gonna lie, that's not like a cracking name, is it? But I think is it a pirate story? There's sailing. Oh, there's a boat builder. That's right. And that's what I know about it. So it will just be nice that everything will be like uphill from there. I love these different colour spines they do, and now they're changing it and they're all turning them green. And I'm like, no, don't do that. So now I just want to buy all Daphne du Maurier books, but they're stupid because I still have like 3 to read. So if I read this one, that'll at least be one down. So yes, because I bought this one because Ange from Beyond the Pages was doing a project where she read all through Daphne du Maurier and read a book a month. And I thought, oh great, and then I bought this. And then did I read it? No, I didn't. Like an idiot. So I've just had this haunting me on my shelves for like a year, probably 2 years. And I think it'll be a nice summer read as well, like when I don't really want anything too heavy. And it will probably, well, hopefully be a kind of an adventure I can like zip through, and if it's not the best, then who cares? Like, I'll just go and read Anna Karenina afterwards or something, I don't know. And then last but not least, as you know, I've got one more after this that I don't have physically. Woo! Almost forgot. Everyone would be sitting there like, actually, that's only not true. Well, actually, you probably wouldn't have been counted. You've probably given up at this point because I'm rambling. But anyway, this is The Woman in White by Wilkie Collins. Another Wilkie Collins. Woo! Isn't he privileged to be on this list twice? This is one of my mum's favourite books. And it's got multiple narrators, and it's a woman, I think, who has escaped from an asylum. No, I keep telling myself not to read the blurbs. I keep going to look at the blurbs. Janet, control yourself. And there's this guy called Walter, and Walter gets involved and is trying to save someone. I think he's a school teacher, and he has a pupil called Laura, and there's this bad guy called Count Fosco, but I don't know why he's bad or what he does. I just think he's really bad. It's like the ultimate, one of the first sensation novels like Wilkie Collins is credited with being kind of the creator, like first one of that, so yeah. And the last one that annoyingly I own, but I don't have physically because my dad's got it at the moment, is The Garden Party by Catherine Mansfield, which is a collection of short stories. Oh, I think it's the only collection actually of short stories I've got. Interesting. Anyway, it is an author, so she is an author that I've never read before, but she was mentioned a lot in Spring by Ali Smith, and it made me really want to read her. And my dad said some of the stories are a bit hit and miss, but I just want to like read an author I've not read before, because actually there's quite a few on this list that I've not read before, so that's really exciting. And it was really hard to choose. I have more classics than I realised that I haven't read, and just infinite numbers that I do want to read. But this has probably been way too long. I was like, this will be a quick video, but no. I hope it's been like mildly entertained. I don't feel like that was the most fun video to do like for my first year on Booktube, but honestly, thanks for watching if you stayed this long, and I will see you soon for Bookish Shenanigans. Bye!